So here is AMZN, Amazon. This finishes at 24.86. That is down 14.05%.
And it's gone.
Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is AAPL Apple. This finishes at $158 today. That is down 3.66%. So the stock had earnings yesterday. We'll go over that in a second here. But the earnings were actually pretty good. And for whatever reason, the stock actually sold off on great earnings. Doesn't make too much sense, but hey, that's the market for you guys nowadays. So today, the negative momentum continued, and the NASDAQ went down a lot. Tech sold off pretty heavily. So a pretty bad day for Apple here. So yeah, let's go over the earnings, and we also had some price adjustments. So EPS was $1.52, which beat the estimate of $1.43. And revenue was $97.3 billion, which beat the estimate of $94 billion. So EPS and revenue beat there. Great earnings. In addition to that, we had some pretty bullish news. They announced a $90 billion stock buyback, and they're going to raise the dividend by 1 cent from 22 cents to 23 cents. So yeah, really can't ask for too much more. Great earnings, stock buyback, dividend increase. That's really an investor's dream there. But it seems like the hedge funds all downgraded, still pretty good ratings, but they all cut their price targets. So Piper Sandler downgraded to 195, JP Morgan 200, Morgan Stanley 195, Deutsche Bank 200, Goldman Sachs 157, Atlantic 190, Baird 185, Barclays 167, Credit Suisse 169, and UBS has their price target at 4,185. I had to double check to see if that was correct, because that is just way above everyone else. But yes, UBS has their target at 4,185. So they're really, really bullish. But that's an outlier. So it looks like on the lower side, we have a 157 price target. And on the higher end, we have a $200 price target. So yeah, all the hedge funds cut their targets, but they're all still pretty bullish. All right, let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, this appears to be a cup and handle in the making. Bottom of the cup being 155. And there can be multiple possible tops. It can be 169. 171, 174, 179, or even the high of 183. But those are all bullish indicators. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. Here on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, the MACD line is starting to bottom out. Looks like it's starting to reverse, and the signal line keeps going to the downside. So it looks like those two lines may cross soon. So it looks bullish right now. Maybe a buy signal. We do have a gap down at 174, so that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to 174 to fill this gap. And we do have a gap up back here at 137. So that's a bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock may come back down to 137 to fill this gap. Looks pretty unlikely, but possible. So be aware of that, guys. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is sitting on the support of 158, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 159, 160, 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, 171, 172, 173, 174, 175, 177, 178, 179, 180, 181, and then 183, the all-time high. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 157, 156, 155, 154, 152, 151, and then 150. There is support below 150, but we're not going to discuss that right now. So right now at this current price, 158, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty wide. So pretty easy support and resistance there. It's just in increments of $1 and $2. So expect significant price action either way this goes. RSI is currently at 40, so a bit below average there. Not quite oversold and undervalued though. But according to the RSI, the current price of 158 should be a little bit higher. And this did 131 million in volume today, way above the average of 92 million. So the sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. Okay, guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So yeah, great earnings and the stock sold off. Doesn't make too much sense. But in the short and long terms, the chart does look pretty bullish. Great fundamentals. This is Apple, blue chip value stock, not going anywhere. And technically got some strong bullish indicators in the cup and handle and gap down. Only bearish indicator is the gap up at 137, but again, that's unlikely to fill. And we have a neutral indicator in the RSI. It's actually slightly bullish. So yeah, overall the stock does look slightly bullish to bullish at the moment. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, you really can't go too wrong buying in here at 158. It may keep going lower, but really shouldn't go too much lower. Looks like there's some pretty strong support at 157 and even more support at 152 and 151. So there may be a little bit more downside to go, but really shouldn't go too much lower, and a pretty good amount of upside potential. So it can support going long at 158 and lower, and if it pulls back below 158, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. So again, there is a gap down at around 174. So from this current price, 158, that's about a 10% upside. And again, really shouldn't go too much lower. Got some very strong support to the downside here. So I would say going long here would be a really low risk, low reward play. Not anything fancy, not anything too crazy, but this is what you get with a blue chip value stock like Apple. Safe and reliable. So yeah, not the most upside in the world, but really no downside. And over time, this will continue to pump. This will continue to go back up. Now, if you want to go short now, financial advice, I would not do that. I would not recommend that. Don't really see a reason why you would do that. Again, this is Apple. Very blue chip value stock here. Again, very strong bullish indicators in the short and long terms. You should have went short back at 180. Here at 158, it's a bit too late going short. Doesn't really appear like there's too much more downside potential. I mean, it may come back down to 137 to fill the gap, and that would be around a 15% downside. But that's really unlikely that happens, and yet a decent amount of upside potential. So I would say going short here would be a low risk, really low reward play. Just not really worth it in my opinion. It's not like you're going to get squeezed out or anything. You're probably not going to lose too much money going short here, but you're probably not going to make money either. So going short here would probably result in a small loss. But yeah, logically, it just doesn't make sense to go short here. Don't know why you do that. Definitely way better short plays out there in the market. All right, so pretty straightforward, guys. Great earnings, great news, very bullish. But for whatever reason, the market didn't like it, selling off. But still, in the short and long terms, looks pretty bullish. So I would support going long at 158 and lower. Really can't go too wrong buying in here. And really no reason to short this. Not too much more downside potential and decent upside potential. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AAPL Apple. So here is AMZN, Amazon. This finishes at 24.86. That is down 14.05%.
And it's gone.
So this stock also had earnings yesterday. And today we got a lot of price adjustments. So let's check that out. So EPS was negative $7.56. The estimate was $8.49. So huge miss on EPS there. Very disappointing. Revenue was $116.44 billion. And the estimate was $116.52 billion. So huge EPS miss, slight revenue miss. Their projected guidance is $116 to $121 billion. The Wall Street estimate is $125.5 billion. So guidance is not looking great either. So yeah, very disappointing earnings, and looks like guidance is going to miss. So apparently this was the first loss for Amazon in 7 years. Really, really bad. And they're blaming that on their Rivian investment. Apparently they took a huge loss on Rivian. Not quite sure how big their stake is, but Rivian stock did get hammered ever since it IPO'd. So huge loss on Rivian there. So yeah, really bad earnings, bad guidance. And today we got a bunch of price downgrades. The hedge funds did not like this at all. So RBC downgrades to 3,500, Evercore 4,100, Goldman Sachs 3,700, BMO 3,450, Wolf 3,700, JP Morgan 3,600, Raymond James 3,300, Stifel 3,800, Credit Suisse 3,700, UBS 4,185, Baird 3,750, Cohen 4,250, Morgan Stanley 3,800, Telsey 3,400, Needham 3,500, Bank of America 3,770, Deutsche Bank 3,500, Piper Sandler 3,400, Wedbush 3,500, Susquehanna 3,800, Rosenblatt 2,900, Canaccord 3,750, Monness, Crespi and Hart 3,700, Cohen 4,250, Truist 3,500, Jefferies 3,700, CFRA 3,400, MKM 3,625, DA Davidson 3,125, and Benchmark 3,700. So actually, I've never seen this many hedge funds adjust their price targets. But yeah, it looks like every single one pretty much downgraded their price target. So it looks like on the lower ends, we have a $2,900 price target, and on the higher ends, we have a $4,250 price target. So although everyone cut their price targets, the consensus is that Amazon should be worth a lot more than the current price is at, around $2,500. So the market is still pretty bullish on Amazon. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, looks like we got a cup and handle in the making. Right now, the bottom of the cup is $24.35, the low which it hit today. And so probably go even lower. So not really sure where the actual bottom of the cup is here, but there are multiple possible tops. It can be $29.14, $31.63, $32.46, $33.73, $34.24, $34.85, $35.52, $36.40, or even the high of $37.69. But those are all bullish indicators. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. And then we do have a double gap down. First gap down back at $32.65. So that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to $32.65 to fill this gap. May take a while, but eventually it should. We have another gap down today, formed at around $2,800. So another bullish indicator there that is telling us that the stock should come back up to 2,800 to fill this gap. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 24.99 and 24.59. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 25.28, 25.52, 26.33, 26.75, 27.07, 27.20, 27.34, 27.50, 27.66, 27.89, 28.17, 28.51, 28.78, 28.92, 29.14, 29.52, 29.76, and then 3,007. There is resistance above 3,007, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 24.59, 24.35, 24.08, 23.73, 22.79, 22.56, 21.88, 21.32, 2088, 2043, 2009, and then 1964. There is support below 1964, but we're not going to discuss that right now. So right now at this current price, 24.86, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. RSI is currently at 29, so this is officially in oversold and undervalued territory, and this did 13.6 million in volume today. Very significant volume, biggest volume day of the year, way above the average of 3.5 million, so the sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So yeah, obviously, very disappointing earnings, but this is Amazon, blue chip value stock, not going anywhere. I think they made a bad investment in Rivian, but fundamentally, company's still really good. The hedge funds think it's worth a lot more than it's currently at, and the chart looks pretty bullish as well. So this may keep pulling back a little bit more, but in the short and long terms, this does look pretty bullish. All bullish indicators here, cup and handle, double gap down, low RSI, really no bearish indicators, and no neutral indicators. So yeah, it looks really strong. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, 24.86 is already a really good entry. Already oversold, already undervalued, a lot of upside potential, and really shouldn't have too much more downside potential. That being said, I'd probably give this a couple more days before you buy. I would apply the 3-day rule here, which for everyone who doesn't know, is when a stock gets wrecked, it's recommended that you hold off for at least 3 days and wait for the volatility to cool off. Really can't go too wrong buying in here at 24.86, already a great entry. But if you're a little patient, hold off a couple more days, you should be able to get even better. So I would support going long at 24.86, and if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. So based on the lowest price target of 2,900, about a 20% upside from the current price, 24.86. So that's on the lower end of the upside potential. Again, this should come back up to around 32.65 to fill the gap down there, and that would be around a 30% upside. And on the higher ends of the price targets here, we have 42.50, and that would be around a 70% upside potential. So yeah, 20 to 70% upside potential here. A lot of upside potential, and really shouldn't have too much more downside potential. So I would say going long here would be a low risk, medium to high reward play. Definitely worth it, definitely worth it. This is a great time to buy that dip. As a wise man once said, buy the effing dip. A lot of upside potential, not too much downside potential. Really can't go too wrong buying in here. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that. I would not recommend that. Seems like a really bad idea. You should have went short a long time ago. Anywhere in the $3,000 range, even the high 2,000s. Here at 24.86, it's a bit too late to go short. You already missed a lot of downside. Again, all bullish indicators, no bearish indicators. Blue chip value stock, not going anywhere. A lot of upside potential. Really shouldn't be too much more downside potential. So I really don't see why you'd go short here. Seems like a really, really bad idea. So I'd say going short here would be a high risk, low reward play. Yeah, just doesn't really make too much sense. You missed a chance, and at this point, you'd be asking to get burned. So don't short this one, guys. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Disappointing earnings, but great buying opportunity. Everyone seems bullish on this. Looks really bullish short and long terms. I'd support going long at the current price. Really can't go too wrong here, and really no reason to go short here. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AMZN, Amazon. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.